Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 27 of the growth marketing course. Swati, how has the journey been? We have only 3 days left.
It's been great. I can't even explain it in words, but when we finish the course, I'll do so. Yeah,
Do it on day 30, or we should do a special day after day 30 too.
we could.
Let's see. Cool. So, today what we're going to discuss is how to design growth hacking workflows. And, the reason for designing everything that we do in growth marketing or growth hacking as workflows is that you can replicate it, and then you can also assign it to your team members or freelancers, and they can be used by other people as well, right? So there are some websites which also give you, a directory of growth workflows. And one of my close friends is actually working on a startup called Growth Recipes. And Growth Recipes will give you like step-by-step growth hacking workflows that you can use for your business, etc. But even for internal purposes, just like we document SOPs, when it comes to tech, product, or marketing, with growth hacking and growth marketing, we document workflows.
Okay.
So in this lesson, I'll take you through 3 different examples, one for a B2B sales outreach workflow, one for a local small business, and one for e-commerce, right? And these examples will show you, give you a reference of how these workflows are designed. So first you have the B2B sales outreach. So this is something we use for our agency as well at Maplinks. And the first thing is, okay, you start the workflow. What do? The yellow boxes are the actions. You generate leads from LinkedIn or Twitter search. Then you run an outreach sequence via Apollo.
Okay.
Time is a tool that we use to generate leads. The details are not important, but I just want you to understand the flow. Then we see if the lead is qualified or not. If the lead is qualified, we report it as qualified lead, and then we book a meeting. If it's not qualified, we send it to a different workflow that we have to keep these leads warm. Right?
Okay.
And we might reach out to them again in the future. But essentially what we've done is we have done various growth experiments. And once you do various growth experiments, you'll typically end up with a workflow that works for your business. And this workflow should be repeatable and hence scalable, right? If you can repeat it, you can typically scale it. And now you can take this workflow, assign it to freelancers, assign different parts of this to freelancers, make it into a checklist, make it into SOPs. One way that I do it is I make checklists on ClickUp, and then we can just repeat those checklists. I think you know how I work on ClickUp very, very well. So this is called a growth workflow, right? So it's an experiment that has proven to work for your business. At the same time, if you're just starting out and if you're just doing experiments, start by documenting your experiments themselves to get into the habit of designing workflows. And then you can mark the ones which are working for you, right? So it's the equivalent of how we do SOPs in project management. We design these growth workflows, and then we can use them and repeat them. Now I have a directory of a lot of growth hacking workflows across 50 different startups that I've helped, worked with. So what I can also do is just tap into that directory and then go and find a workflow for a new business that could benefit from a previous workflow that I did. Right?
Okay.
So this is like the advantage of having these workflows. Here's another one. Let's say you're a local business. And the first thing you do is generate leads from Facebook groups, or you generate leads from Google Maps. Like those are 2 parallel steps in the workflows. Eventually, they all go into the same leads database. And then you can run an outreach sequence via WhatsApp, assuming your target audience is active on WhatsApp. If you get a positive response, there's a separate workflow that you can send them, which is the acquisition workflow. So you've got them from awareness, got their details, send a cold outreach, and then take them to your official acquisition workflow when they've responded positively. And if you do know, you can either batch them into a future outreach, or, you can mark them as lost or not interested. So again, an idea of a growth workflow. Any questions?
No, I think we can say that each of these businesses will have a very personalized approach to their own workflow. And even like 2 very similar businesses can have a different workflow depending on what's working for them, right?
Right. So this is an example from like one business. So this is an actual workflow that one of my businesses that I've worked with, they use. And like you said, it could be very different for a different business. This is the one that works for them. And also I've removed the specific details which apply only to their business, because I cannot show that in tools. But when you design it for your business, you'll have to update it to have all of the details, all of the tools, how you use those tools, etc. But overall, what we are trying to do here is, let's say someone new joins my team and I tell them I do 10 growth marketing campaigns and you have to do 5 of them. What do I give them, right? What is the manual that I give them? I give them this, right? So now they know exactly what they need to be doing. I can create a document, etc. But this is like a snapshot of all of the steps that are involved in the process, right? So it's like a SOP documentation mechanism.
Okay.
Then you have another example of an e-commerce, SMS cart recovery, where you say, okay, this is a workflow where you set up an SMS for cart abandonment, and then the cart abandoned. If the cart is abandoned by the user, you send the SMS after 3 hours. If it is recovered, then you mark it as recovered. If no, you repeat it and send the SMS the next day. So another thing of workflow is they are repeatable. So if you can automate this process using a tool, then this workflow works for you even when you're sleeping, right? So my outreach mechanism right now is quite automated. So the leads are being added into my Apollo sequence by default, and then they are sending out emails to those leads. Then they are getting a response with my calendar link. They are booking a call, and I directly have to join the meeting.
Okay.
Right? So these templates can also be literally functionally automated using different tools, right? So from a visual automation, which is just a representation, you can directly automate it using a tool or using people. You can have freelancers who do certain parts, and in that way also it's automated. So let me give you a recent example.
Okay.
I think you know that I found a way to use ChatGPT to generate SEO content. And now I've hired 2 different freelancers, which you see on Slack. And I've basically just given them the same workflow. And now they're executing that workflow because I found it, I did it, but I cannot do it every day. I have to run a business here, right? So I could give that workflow. Now imagine that you found a workflow to find influencers from creator.co and then collaborate with influencers, and you document it in this process and hire someone and give it to them. Now you have a lot of time to do other things, right? Let's say you have a workflow to come up with a monthly social media calendar, which is something that you do. And you find a way to do that with ChatGPT. You assign it to someone. Now you have time. Right? You can work on something.
Yeah.
So
and I think these workflows are also developed with a lot of testing and experimentation back and forth, according to what's working.
Yeah. At some point, you'll have to hand it off to someone who can execute it so that you can focus. See, imagine there's a startup which has a growth marketing lead or a growth marketing manager, and then there are people working with them. So I would not suggest that the growth marketing manager keeps executing these campaigns. What they should do is they should find winner campaigns, winner experiments, make these workflows, assign it to someone, and then they should be finding new winners. They should be running new campaigns. That's the real job of, a growth marketer. So that answers the question, what does a growth marketing manager do? Which is something that we were discussing, is a keyword question people are searching for. You continuously run new tests to find new winners. And then you make sure those tests can be converted into repeatable workflows. And then you assign that or build teams who can execute those workflows while you find new winners. That's all you do. And you keep repeating that.
Yeah. So you're basically not doing so much more on the execution part because you've developed that strategy for your team.
Initially, you should do execution yourself, so you are sure that this works and how it works and what are the common, like the Apollo outreach. I did it myself for a very long time. That one personally, I still do it myself. But with the ChatGPT SEO stuff, I did it a few times. Then I trained some people to do it, and now they're doing it, right? So it's automated with tools plus people. Like those are 2 points of leverage that I'm using. You can also use other forms of leverage, but yeah, for this particular example, these are 2 ways of leverage that I'm using. Right?
Yeah, great.
Cool. So yeah, that's all for the workflows lesson, and we'll all see you in the next one. Bye.